Randall, a quick one. When people talk about motors, what do they usually miss?
Well, they typically miss the fact that the motor itself is what's doing the work, but it's also what's consuming the majority of the energy.
So, what looks small at the start can become much bigger over time.
Yes, absolutely, because the motor itself, because it's doing the work, and there's multiple motors across the plant, whether they're small or they're very large, they can be overlooked throughout the process.
Welcome back to Fact over Fiction. Today, why small motor losses do not stay small, how they build into bigger plant costs over time, and why IE4 efficiency means much more than just a label. So, Randall, before we get into the IE4, I want people to understand you a little bit. Where does your way of thinking comes from?
Well, first of all, I am an engineer by trade, and I always lead with an engineering mind. But a little more beyond that. I am from the southern Appalachians in the mid-Atlantic of the United States, and with that comes a more personable perspective that many of us in our culture tend to have. And so therefore, with my engineering mind, I like to make sure that I'm putting myself in the place of the customer and really exercising empathy, but also being able to use the knowledge that I've gained through my background.
And you said something there else that I really liked, that a lot of engineering knowledge gets passed down through stories.
Absolutely. And so that's one thing that happened with me. And then also at this point in my career, I'm trying to, and my colleagues are trying to do for maybe some of the newer people in our field, is we want to make sure that we're sharing stories of things that go well and sometimes things that don't go well and what those results are. So it's important that we pass that along so that they can take advantage of that knowledge.
That really fits into this episode, because this is one of those topics where people can learn before the expensive lesson happens.
Yes, and so we have a saying that many times we use that a smart person learns from their own prior knowledge and their own prior mistakes, but an even smarter person will learn from somebody else's experiences, knowledges, and even their mistakes.
Okay, real talk. People keep hearing IE4 and nodding like they understand. What is IE4 actually?
Well, so there's a lot to it, of course, but ultimately speaking, the standard motor efficiency now, which is an IE3, or in NEMA markets, it's a premium efficient. So the IE4 or NEMA 4 is allowing for a 20% reduction in losses. So it's a much more efficient option in order to go forward on the motors.
So when did that really click for you?
Oh, I'm telling you, it's of course been an evolution in that, but let me take you through two real world stories that cling to me. Is a customer that I dealt with many years ago. In one facility, they had over 4,000 motors. Now those motors were both small and some very large, but 4,000 motors in one facility. So you take compounding that is massive.
So that's when small stops being small.
Exactly, because the sheer numbers. But if you don't mind, let me take you through one more part of that thought process. So I mentioned in that facility had larger motors. So let's take a 300 horsepower motor, okay? Again, I'm in NEMA market, so I'm using horsepowers, but a 300 horsepower motor by itself can consume as much as 250,000 US dollars in energy in a single year. So again, compound that by hundreds and even thousands across the facility, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
And where in the food and beverage plant does this become especially relevant?
Oh, it's extremely relevant in food and beverage because you take, especially on the large motor side, we see that in the pumps and the fans, especially like in the refrigeration compressors. That would be the large motors. But then on the process, you have hundreds and hundreds of smaller motors running conveyors, choppers, and then other apparatuses across these facilities.
And what makes it more serious in a plant environment?
Yes, so of course, in a plant environment, it's dependent upon the process. And so the process is usually very continuous. And so, therefore, if you choose the wrong motors, wrong efficiency, but the wrong motors, the breakdowns can be catastrophic in the keeping that process running.
So let's move over to some facts or fiction. A motor is basically a commodity, so the cheapest upfront option is usually a smart move.
Oh, that is definitely fiction.
And the big picture is?
The big picture is many times people will focus on just that unit cost. But what we know is that unit cost, and when you're looking at total cost of ownership, is only about 2%, whereas that 97% is actually the energy consumption. Not to mention, if you just focus on the unit cost and that motor leads to early downtime, now you've got that downtime cost as well.
So if someone challenges you and saying, why should I bother about IE4 versus IE3? What would you say to them?
Well, I would definitely say to them that they need to, first of all, back up and take a look at the math and what that means. But also they need to make sure that they understand truly what the IE3 and the IE4 really mean.
So is IE4 just the cure-all, you would say then?
Well, it's not the cure-all for sure. We know that there's more to the whole picture because IE4 focuses just on the motor alone. But there's, again, the whole process that could also be focused on.
So what would you mean by that?
Yes, so when we're looking at the whole process, again, the motor is where the work's being done. But when we back up and look at efficiency, the most efficient motor and the less energy consumption is a motor that is actually off. So if we introduce like a VFD into this application and we're controlling the application based upon what the application needs are, now with the VFD and the motor, you can keep the motor running as close to off as you want to. So now, instead of just shaving a few percentage efficiency points, now you can take 10s, 20, or even more percent efficiency into the situation.
So upgrading the motor alone is not always solving the problem.
That's correct. It's only a part of the solution.
Can you give me one example where that became very real?
Well, absolutely. A number of them come to mind, but let me just go with this one. So let's take a fan application, and the fan application, if you are currently using, dampers on that fan in order to control flow, if you change just that motor, absolutely you get that efficiency gain between one motor to the next. But now if you put a VFD on it and you're measuring the actual flow that you need, you can control the speed of that fan to the optimum flow, gaining tremendous amount of efficiency. So a fan or pump are great applications.
And that would be one machine.
That would just be one machine. And again, going back to the example I mentioned Some plants have hundreds or thousands of motors that could potentially be opportunities.
So should people rip out a perfectly good motor immediately and upgrade?
I would not typically recommend that, though there may be applications that's realistic. However, motors will naturally go through a life cycle. And so I recommend to look at replacing the motor with an upgrade when a motor naturally comes to the end of its life.
And why would people still struggle with this logic?
Again, it goes back to many people are so focused on unit cost, and they're not looking at the big picture. And so the unit cost may be a part of their culture that helps to shape their mode of thinking.
So this is partly a technical issue, but partly also a behavior issue.
Absolutely, it's certainly both of those.
So where does ABB come in here?
Well, that's where we are usually at our very best, because we have the technology to help in all parts of that process, whether it's the motor, VFD, controls. But we also are coming in with the scientific knowledge in order to be able to calculate this and to be able to help educate those that need to make these decisions.
So the point is not just to buy a new motor, it is also about taking a better long-term decision?
Absolutely. It's definitely about making a better long-term decision, because what we don't want people to do is throw good money after bad.
Okay, so if you were to leave food and beverage operators with one practical thing they should do, what would you say?
I would certainly recommend that they compare what they're operating to a baseline. We need to be able to catch the vibration, the heat, the operation early so that it doesn't multiply over time.
So, in the end, this is much more than a motor on paper.
Yes, absolutely, because lower losses means less heat, lower vibration, and this is huge because over time, the small gains end up multiplying across the entire plant.
Thank you, Randall. That is Fact Over Fiction.